Hey everybody. Anybody there yet? Let's see here. We are gonna wait for everybody to get on, and if you come on and just shoot a comment so I know that you're there. And it's good to see everybody today. I hope your weather is as nice as ours here in Western Washington. Um, it's probably about 74 degrees and light breeze and sunny. And my husband and my dog are loving being out on the deck right now. So, um, welcome everybody. And thank you for allowing me to talk to you a little bit about Messy Church, which we all love, right? My name is Crystal Goetz. I am the regional coordinator for the state of Washington for Messy Church USA. I've been involved with Messy Church for about, well, a little over 3 years. So some of you have many years on me, but I knew from the moment that I started into the Messy Church programs and trainings and meeting some of the people that it was absolutely the thing for me and for my church. And I really felt a connection immediately. And then I was attended the international conference in 2019 and met so many of you and made some, I hope, lasting relationships, and looking forward to being with you all again. It was a very memorable experience. I miss everybody so much, but I hold on to those memories very dearly. So I don't know if you were here last time when Jane and Mark Herdrudder were talking from Vancouver Island, and I'm very near geographically speaking to where they are. As the crow flies, you might say. I'm probably about 100 miles um, from door to door from where they are. And so it's beautiful up here in the Northwest. If any of you ever want to come and visit, you're more than welcome. Just knock on my door. Today, well, I think first of all, we always get started with a prayer, right? So we have the ceremonial candle here, and this one I wanted to use because it reminds me of all the beautiful church stained glass windows that are out there a little bit. So let's go ahead and light the candle, and then we'll get started here. And we'll have some prayer time. This candle smells like cinnamon and cloves. It's very lovely. Oops. There we go. I burn my fingers. Oh. All right. Let's pray together and welcome God into this space. Take a deep breath, kind of relax into it, and let God come into you. Loving God, we thank you for Messy Church. We thank you for this messy world that we're living in right now. We know that you are watching us with great care and affection. And we thank you for all of the people that are working so hard for our safety. And we ask that you protect them and help us in our endeavors to be a messy church, even in the middle of a global pandemic. We thank you for your love, and we thank you most of all for Jesus, your son. In his name we pray, and all God's people said, amen. So I welcome you all today. I'll keep my candle burning here. And we're talking today about messy tools for your toolbox. So really what brought this to mind for me was I'm a practical, hands-on person. I really like to sort of have a game plan, and I like to have my tools in my tool belt. I actually built our garden shed that sits out in our yard. I used to dabble into construction quite a lot when I was younger. And I was going to take you out to my very messy workbench because I felt it was really applicable to what we were talking about because it needs some serious organization. But I thought that would put our internet connection maybe in jeopardy. So I thought, let's just do it from here. And I'm going to start, well, I have these things here, and I have this toolbox here because I'm a visual aid person. So we're going to kind of go through some tools that we can all use during this time to that I hope will benefit everybody. So I honestly am not sure. I'm not really seeing any comments, and I'm not sure why. So um, shoot me a comment so I can see it if there are no comments yet. I'm not really sure why I'm not seeing it. But anyway, I thank you for all being here. If I can't make that work, because I really want to pay more attention to what I'm giving you as far as some tools. So this is a saw, and normally we use it to cut wood, but it is most of these things I'll be speaking about are metaphorical. So I'm going to be using this saw, and you use the saw to cut wood, right? It's this particular one needs a bad sharpening because it's been sitting around in my garage. You can see cobwebs on it. Been a while since I built things, apparently. But so when we think about a saw, we think about cutting, right? And so when we cut in a messy church, it means that something's not working and maybe we need to try something new. And so I'd like you, when you see a saw or think of the saw, think about what needs to be cut. All right. All right. And then we have a hammer. Well, you know, one thing I forgot. So it needs charging. It's kind of sounds a little slow and everything. So this is my power tool. This is my baby. It helps me to, you know, drive things down and, you know, all those sorts of things. Ah, there come the comments. Thank you. Thank you, whoever did that. I don't know, but I would appreciate that. So here's this. So where do we get, this is a power tool. This is a powerful tool. I use it for a lot of different things. It saves me a lot of time and a lot of energy. Where do we get our power? Where does our power come from? Well, if you said God, you're probably right. And that's the number one most important tool in your toolbox, is always remember to stay connected with God. It's super important that we remember to pray, to take time out to dive into God's word, and to talk to God and connect with God in some way, whether it's through nature or going to a church service. If you're in person, that's one way, or online, or however you do that. But take time to connect with God, because that's where you draw your power from, and your most powerful tool, right? All right, and then we have our hammer. And what is a hammer for? A hammer drives things home, right? Nails. You hit them and it drives them home. Well, so we need to nail things home in our messages too, and in what we do in our messy churches. So we have, well, let's see. I'm trying to think of a good message. So like, let's say your theme for the month is you're going to talk about Jesus calms the storm. Okay. So what's the main point you want to drive home? What's your hammer? And how are you going to do that? Are you going to do a game? Are you going to do a message? How are you going to find that thing that will really hammer it home? And there's going to be different things that hammer home for different generations. So remember to think about that hammer being held by a lot of different people, a lot of different age groups, and a lot of different needs, special needs people too, people with special abilities, or that might have a struggle to hear or to see, or little tiny ones who really want to be in the fray but can't always reach the table. Or how are we going to get through to them? What are we going to say to them? How are we going to hammer our point home? Okay. One of the important things we have is in my toolbox here. Oh, so many tools. Is this one here? And I don't know if most of you would know what this is, but this is a voltage detector. And when you're testing electricity, this is a vital, vital tool. If you don't, um, have one of these and you're working on electricity, it could really be a problem. Okay. So what I'd like to do is suggest that this is for checking the energy level of your group, your team, your Messy Church team. It's super easy in times like this when we're all separated and we're all trying to do different things, to lose sight of the fact that we still have to take care of each other on our team. Make sure that we're taking time out if we need it, making sure that we check our energy level. Do we need a little month or two off of Messy Church just to sort of recharge our batteries and to get our energy level back up? So the voltage meter, a very important tool in our toolbox. Gosh, I just really wish that normally I do a lot of Facebook Lives, and so it's kind of surprising to me that I haven't quite figured out how to look at the comments. So anyway, I apologize to all of you for, you know that I love your comments and I want to see all of that. So I'm sorry if I'm not seeing that. Not sure why. So our next, let me reach here in the toolbox, is this. Here is our gripper, our clamp, right? So this one is really fun because you can, it's like quick and easy and you can adjust it. It's really a wonderful clamp. And what is it? It holds us together, right? It holds two things together. Like I could, hold my level and my other thing here together. So look at that. So that's a really handy tool. So the clamp is, remembering what holds us together. So what is your grip? What is your clamp in your Messy Church? What is it that holds you all together? Why are you doing Messy Church? Ask that question. So, God is a big part of that, right? But it's not the only thing that keeps you going to Messy Church. There's got to be something else. What is that fire that you have that is ignited in you that keeps you doing Messy Church? It's wonderful. And you have to be in touch and connected to that thing. So I highly recommend always having a clamp in your toolbox. Let's see. How about this tool? Many of you are familiar with it. Haha. You can look that I've been experimenting behind me here. It's a paintbrush, right? Why would this be important in Messy Church? What do we do with a paintbrush? We add color, right? Like behind me. I love colorful things. If you know me, you know that I love rainbows. I love wearing colorful clothes. Obviously, I'm a colorful person. Everything about color I love. And so a paintbrush is adding color to your life, to your Messy Church. And what that means is excitement and energy and vibrancy. Color is, I don't know what we do without it. What if the sky and everything was just gray all the time? Sometimes in Western Washington it is here. I'm sure that some of you around the world can relate to the gray skies. But when that sky is blue, it turns our attitude and our messages around, right? Our internal messages, the things we say to ourselves. We tend to be happier on sunny, bright days, right, than we are on cloudy, gray days. Well, some people, I can't say all people. But color is important. So remember, when you think about the paintbrush, think of life and energy that you give to your Messy Church, right? This is a great one. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm just going to try a quick thing here and see if I can just really quick. No, I'll stay here. So, there we go. Now I can see your, messages. Cancel. There we go. Ugh. It's really funny because normally I'm very good at this kind of thing, but today I don't know why this screen is befalling me with all kinds of problems. Anyway, I was there for a second and it was gone. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next tool. All right, our next tool is this. Maybe some of you gardeners are familiar with this tool, string. Can't garden without string, right? So this string is to tie things together, right? Ooh, this one is really cool because it draws from the center. Everything is opposite, by the way. And it's what ties people together. So what is tying the people of your messy church together? Is it a common interest in your church? Is it a common interest in Jesus? Or what is it about that night that is drawing you all together, that's keeping you interested and tied together? So string is like super, super, super important also in any messy church as a tool. All right. Okay, who's heard the phrase measure twice, cut once, right? So the measuring tape, very important tool in your toolbox. It is, I use a measuring tape for everything. I don't know about you, but it's also a great metaphor for remembering how to measure how things are going. How are things going in your messy church? Are people kind of lukewarm to the whole online thing? Are you struggling to find a way to get together now that you can in some places? Measure how things are going, and then set yourself measurable goals too. Remember that when you have a goal, you have to be able to know when you've reached that goal. When have you got, if you don't know when you arrived, what's the point of the journey, right? So a measuring tape is a super important tool, super important tool. So yes, let's see here. All right, I want to move on to, oh, now I'm not sure if they call this tool what we call it here in the States. So this is called a stud finder, okay? And you move it along a wall and it finds the nails that are in the studs of the wall. We call them studs, or, you know, the braces that are behind your wallboard. And this has it has a magnet in it that when you move it across the wall, there's a light here that beeps, and I'm out of battery here, but that beeps and lights up, so that you know if you're going to hang a picture or if you're going to do something and put something in the wall that's heavy, that you have a sturdy place to anchor that with. So this finds your anchor. So finding an anchor is super, super, super important. Of course, God is an anchor always. And, you know, once again, we need to ask ourselves the question, why are we doing messy church? Why are we doing it? What is it in our hearts that makes us love it so much? Do we love it because we love God? Of course, right? Do we love it because we like the people that we work with? Do we love it because it's something different? It gets me out of for me, I can tell you, I can speak from my perspective. My anchor is that I am a hands-on visual aid person. I need those tactile things. And so not having that anchors me to messy church. I love messy church because I get that need fulfilled when I go to church. I am not a pew sitter. I'm not a good pew sitter in church. I need to be up and moving around and active. So for me, messy church works so well. Not to say that I don't do that for God on a regular basis. I do. I have sat in church for 57 years of my life, and which I love. But messy church is my anchor to how I celebrate God and creativity. So it's pretty cool. So, all right, who's a red green fan? Are there any Canadians out there that know red green? So, duct tape, handyman's secret weapon. I'll tell you what, you cannot live without duct tape. It's like the tool that everybody should have in their toolbox. Mine happens to have kitty cats on it. I don't know if you can see that. I got it as a gift from my family. Only I would have kitty cat duct tape. I love cats. I like dogs too. I just love nature and creation. So duct tape is that one thing you can't do without. So what's your duct tape in your messy church? What's that one thing that you cannot live without in your messy church? Is it a certain person? Is it like we're having a hard time figuring out the meal, the hospitality process, especially for those messy churches that are online. If that's your duct tape, how are you going to find another duct tape? If you're unable to do it, there has to be another way, right? There must be a way to be hospitable but not eat dinner. Or maybe people could prepare dinner together via Zoom. I mean, we have thought some crazy things up over here. We're in complete and utter lockdown here in Washington. It's very our numbers just keep going up and up and up, and we can't really go anywhere. So this is the format that we have to use. So we have to get creative in how we engage people. So think about what's the tool in your toolbox that your duct tape, the one thing you can't be without, because it does a lot. It does a lot, right? Okay, I've got in here somewhere, I have an adjustable wrench. So I love this one. I love the adjustable wrench because it needs oiling, so it's kind of stuck. But a wrench turns things, right? It turns a screw or a bolt, and you can adjust it to different sizes so that you don't just have to turn one thing with this. You can turn many things with this, right? So adjusting the size and scale of the things that you're doing is where your wrench comes in handy. So we have expectations of how messy church was in the past, and we have expectations about what we want from messy church. Right now, for a lot of people, that's not possible. It's that we love being part of messy church. We love everything about messy church, and we want to be sure that we're honoring that in all the ways we possibly can. But we need to adjust things. You've heard that term, pivot. Well, this is the other version of that, which is to turn that thing a little bit, turn it and adjust that thing. Try different things. This is a great time to try things, right? What better opportunity? God is reaching a hand out to us and saying, try something new. This is our opportunity. And we've been talking a lot about that in different groups on with Lucy and other people with Messy Church. And I love the conversations that have come out of that. And I'm really hoping that excuse me one second here. I'm really hoping that we will continue to look at ways in which we can use our adjustable wrench and tweak things a little bit and see what comes up. How exciting is that? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm looking at my list to see if I've missed anything. So my final, I cannot believe how fast 30 minutes can go. And once again, I want to apologize. I will go back through all of your comments and look at them after I'm done with this. I'm not sure exactly why. I had them there for a second and now they're gone. So technology can be a mystery sometimes, but I'm going to just go with it. I'd rather give you this message and then I'll catch up with y'all later because I just love being involved with you in conversation on the Messy Church live on Wednesdays. I've grown to love it. So one of the really good tools that I have in my toolbox, I want to show you something really neat that I have. I have a pocket watch. I don't know if, like I said, everything's sort of weirdly backwards here. I don't know if you can see it. It's got all kinds of gears on it. It's very steampunk, which I love. But if you push the button and it opens, but it's an old-fashioned pocket watch. And this is a tool. Not everybody wears a watch anymore. We all have our cell phones in our pockets and we pull those out and we look and we say, oh, gee, I know what time it is, so I don't need to wear a watch. Or some people wear a Fitbit or a tracker of some kind or an Apple Watch, different things that give them the information that they need. But this old watch, I don't wear one of those things, and I hate pulling out my cell phone to look at the time because it makes people think I'm looking at a text message or something. But these old watches are so fun, and it's a reminder to check our timing. Timing is everything. How long should your messy church be right now? When should your messy church be right now? And knowing the timing for rest and rejuvenation and a time for prayer. So we're going to close today. I've fallen in love with this book. Some of you might be familiar with. It's called the Barnabas Family Bible. I love it. I was graciously given it as a gift at the conference, and I am completely smitten. Let me tell you, it is one of the best books I have used in ministry for a long time. And in the back of it, it's got this best loved Bible passages, and I would like to close with reading a passage that might tie in with what we're doing right now. So everything has its time. This is might be familiar. Ecclesiastes 3:1-8. Everything on earth has its own time and its own season. There is a time for birth and death, planting and reaping, for killing and healing, destroying and building, for crying and laughing, weeping and dancing, for throwing stones and gathering stones, embracing and parting. There is a time for finding and losing, keeping and giving, for tearing and sowing, listening and speaking. There is also a time for love and hate, for war and peace. Our time right now is so hard, and I understand that completely. But we have each other. We have this wonderful, messy church community. We have God, and we can thank Jesus every day for the gift of salvation. And so those are the things we need to hang on to. And I hope that you have enjoyed this. I hope that you've gotten something out of it. I got a lot of tools that I have to go put away. So let's go ahead and pray together really quick before we leave. And as I said before, I'll be sure and look at all of your comments. Thank you so much for being here and allowing me to do this. I have enjoyed it immensely. Let's pray together. Loving and gracious God, we know that there is your time, which is Kairos. We know that there is chronological time, which is Chronos, and we don't always know how to discover the difference between the two. Help guide us on our journey through this time of change, innovation, love of you, and help to build our faith in you, our faith in each other, and to help Messy Church be brought to people who have not seen it or heard it, and help people embrace the message of all who bring Messy Church to the communities. God, we love you. We thank you for all the blessings that you give us. Even on those very hard days, we know that there are little bright spots that you bring us and that you always are working for our good. We ask your blessing in the name of the one who came for us, who died for us, and who rose from the grave that we might have eternal life. In Jesus' name we pray. And all God's people said, Amen. Thanks again, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye.